Okay, yay! It's another video where I'm in bed. Alright, so I just watched today I watched the race 15 at Darwin Supercars, watching Jack LeBrox win, and I was thinking, and it sort of cemented itself as I've watched these races and gone, the okay, we're gonna have to talk about parity, but between the Chevy teams, everyone's really close, and the only reason that some teams are better up than others because they're just doing a better job. And then the same thing with the Ford teams. You can't really bet on what Ford team is going to be up there. So it's like you got the little Ford Cup, and then you got the Chevy Cup, and the if the Fords have a bad weekend, it makes them look worse, and the pace isn't there and all that. But that's the thing that's going on. This is another rattle on video where I just ramble about supercars. It used to be in Gen 2 and Car of the Future and all that if you were a AAA customer team, you were going to do well. You had high potential. And so all you'd have to do is keep the cars up to date with the latest parts, latest things from AAA, hire some top level people, and you would be able to contend for podiums and race wins and get those good results. So in Gen 3 this year, we have several former AAA customer teams. We've got Team 18, Matt Stone Racing, Premier, um, why do I feel like there's another one? I think that's it. That's just those three, right? Because Premier used to be Techno and Team Sydney, and MSR was that one, and Team 18 was the other one. I think that's right. Those are all the former AAA customer teams. So they used to be. You would reasonably expect them to do well. And if they didn't, you'd be like, what the hell's going on? And last year we saw with Premier, Peter Shibris just chucked a shitload of money at upgrading the cars and getting everything up there so that if the driver wasn't putting the car where it theoretically should be, it was the driver. So they got rid of Gary Jacobson and they put James Golding in, and he started putting it right up there and annoying everyone in the top. And so that put James Golding back on the map, and that put Premier up there seriously, and people looking at Premier going, that is a good team to be on. And that's why you got Romy Mayer joining. That's why you got that's why Tim Slade joined. He was looking at Premier going, this is going in the right direction, which is what happened with Team 18 a few years ago. You got to remember that they were signing a lot of big names for a little while. 2019, and sorry about that, but I do not control the house that I live in. Somebody is taking advantage of their free time to look after their own house, which has fallen to pieces since we've been looking at mine. So I'm going to pause this. Okay, hopefully it's not too bad anymore. So 2019, Mark Winterbottom joins Irwin, puts their sponsoring in, and then they sign Phil Keaton and Steve Henderson. Both top level guys. Phil Keaton they had to grab from DJR Team Penske. Sorry. And then in 2020 they grabbed Scott Pye and expanded to 2 cars, and they had a really good season that year, and probably would have been better, or possibly would have been better if not for COVID. But they did have just raw pace. Those cars must have been up to date, top spec, 888. And then they didn't put those upgrades, carry it on for 21 and 22 because Charlie Schwerkold's businesses were impacted. There wasn't as much money to tip into the team. Signed Richard Holway for 2021 to be like a technical director of the team. Phil Keed went to Scott Pye's car for 2020, and Manuel Sanchez moved to Mike Winterbottom's car for 2020. And who was on Scott Pye's car? Phil Keed wasn't supposed to be on Scott Pye's car. They had Matt Saunders, who engineered Jack LeBrock to victory, I'm pretty sure. And who just and for some reason, that because of COVID, they put Phil Keed in the car, and it actually went really well, so they kept that going forever till Phil Keed left and went to BJR for 22. So Team 18 used to be really good and used to be the best, and then Gen 3 has evened it out, and now they're pretty much where they should have been the last couple of years. MSR, they came in 2018. They had an FGX Falcon, which in 2018 the FGX Falcon was not the car to have. It was terrible. It was a dog. Because the ZB Commodore was so fast. Because the technical regulations were not strict enough about all these things that we know about now, center of gravity, and having the carbon roofs and stuff like that, all the different technical things that we've learned the names of for the last 5 years, and it's just getting more and more technical because the parity hasn't been there. So it was a crap year to have a Falcon, so halfway through the year they went to the VF, and it was okay, it was a bit better. And they started putting in arrangements to go with 888 technical relationship with, so that Todd Hazel would have Jamie Wingcup's 2018 car for the 2019 season. So they knew they had a race winner. They just didn't have the 888 personnel. They had the data. They had the car. It was, top spec or close to top spec for 2019. So they were pretty much at the same level as Team 18, except they didn't have the top level driver and top level personnel that Team 18 had. So Todd had his days, and that was really good for them. But they didn't upgrade the car for 2020. They had the same car. And so as the field progressed, MSR fell backwards. They had Gary Jacobson in for his second year in the category. And they had the Superlight entry, so they had some pretty raw drivers in, and they had to lose Todd Hazelwood because they weren't sure about what was going to happen with the team for sponsors and stuff like that. So they said Todd can have a look around if he wants, see what he can get, and he moved to BJR, which is pretty good for him. And now he's at Blanchard's, and yeah. So they pretty much did not upgrade the car for 2020, didn't upgrade it for 21, or maybe they did, but it wasn't quite there. And 22, they didn't upgrade it at all, so they had the same level of performance. And in 22, they had better drivers in Jack LeBrock and Todd Hazelwood returning, doing a great job. And now here in 23 with Gen 3 car, it's even now, and MSR have said, yeah, we're not in Super 2 anymore because we're just not going to do that because it takes our attention away from what we're doing. We're going to focus everything on Gen 3. And it's been really good for them. Jack LeBrock has been doing a great job qualifying up the front, getting top 10s, and mixing it for the top 10 of the championship. And just really showing his talent, really showing the capabilities of the team. And a key signing for that team for 22 was signing Peter Vale, who used to manage Brad Jones Racing. And was a team principal at Brad Jones Racing, and so he moved to be like manager at Matt Stone Racing, and those pit stops were crucial in getting Jack LeBrock's victory. So this is one of those things that you got to think about. They knew that they had to make sure that they were up there. Same sort of thing with Team 18. They've been trying to find a manager that could get the pit stops right so they can get the win when they actually have the opportunity. And so that was important for them. Um, talked about Premiere. We talked about Team 18. Talked about Mastone Racing. But you just do not need a AAA technical relationship anymore. No team in Gen 3 has the technical relationship. They don't need it anymore because everyone's got pretty much the same thing. You don't need to worry about buying the parts from AAA because everybody has to buy them from the same supplier and they have to follow the same designs and everything. That's just off the top of my head. If someone wants to correct me, go ahead. That'd be good to know. Um, and that's been a bit of a game changer economically in supercars. Is that you, in the same sort of thing they had with I remember Paul Morris saying about the TA2 series. You just go to the truck and you grab a part. You don't go to you don't have to worry about it. Um, you don't have to go to Triple 8 and buy it. You don't have to do anything like that. So it's a lot more unified in that regard. But my main point of this 10-minute thing has been the Triple 8 customer teams are independent teams now. Matt Stone Racing is independent. Team 18 is independent. Premier, while they said, oh, we've got turnkey Triple 8 cars. Yeah, but they sent their own guys to help build them, so it's basically independent. They were just doing it at the Triple 8 shop. So that's just what it was. Whereas all the other Camaro teams, BJR, Erebus, Team 18, they were ordering the parts in. I think BJR had a chassis that was fully built, but I think Erebus and Erebus and Team 18 built it from the ground up. So, but correct me if I'm wrong. It's interesting.